Yeah, we are. Hey, it's Ross Bader with Ludonarrative Dissidents. We are going live here. We
came this close to saying role-playing public radio.
I know.
It's becoming
I am a
muscle
professional.
memory.
Yeah, no, it 100% is. But I am a professional, Greg. Yeah, we're here. It's January. We survived into a new year. It's 2026 now, if you can believe it. And we have survived. So, and I'm of course joined here with Greg and James. And Greg, please give us the context for the photo of you up in the top left, so the viewers have some idea of what you're talking about. Yeah,
I am getting ready to run a Kickstarter for a novella called Against the Silver Slavers. I've got the zines, I'm making the covers, and so today I recorded the Kickstarter video, and that is the frame that it pulled out as the exemplary one. Me looking grotesquely dismayed.
James had the best description of it.
It's clearly Greg, you have become a scientist from a BBC series from the late 80s in which set a week in the future, in which you're delivering the terrible news that the virus has got loose on board the submarine, and then you just catch a glimpse of the assassin who has come to kill you. It's perfect. That has to be your profile picture from now on. It's too good. He's gone.
Oh no, we'll have to
the assassin got him.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Don't worry about it. No, Mark, it's about your future conditional use. Yeah.
You win the internet, Garen. You win.
Yes.
Good morning from Saturday for those of you.
That'll be the Australian.
To the person saying it looks like you were just served a cheeseburger that is much, much, much too much for any human to reasonably finish. You're not in America, are you? That's just every day here. They give you you order a cheeseburger and it's the size of an old school thesaurus.
Yeah. Oh. Gosh,
I'm not going to rise to that bait. I'm not going to ask why thesaurus leapt to your mind there, but it's a great analogy. I like that a lot.
It's like that. It's like the full English thing, which does not make any sense to me. And yet, there are restaurants in America that will serve that quantity of food, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's what.
So, I used to watch. There's a whole thing about these restaurants, especially in America, having like challenges where you have to eat a spectacularly large meal in an hour, or you have to pay $100 or whatever it is. But if you eat it all in an hour, it's free, and sometimes they give you a reward or a T-shirt or something like that. And there are at least a couple of YouTubers that like make they go out and they travel the country doing these kind of like eating challenges as their jobs, and or at least as a gig. And it is it's circus sideshow-esque to watch, but like it is there's a whole thing about people who could eat too much. I remember back in 2020, my friends and I were stuck, and we would start watching these bizarre YouTube videos together and comment on them. And I can't remember her name, but there was one person, a woman who was so good at this, she would do these challenges just at home, and you could just she did one that I thought she was going to die because she drank like 12 cans of Arizona twisted tea, or twisted tea, not Arizona tea, twisted tea, which is alcoholic, like it's iced, and she drank 12 of them in like as many minutes. And like she was wearing a dress where you could see the bulge in her belly from it. It's like, oh my god, you're going to die, but like she survived. And then like anyways, I like watching weird things on YouTube, but yeah,
the human organism is tremendously adaptable. We can train these malleable bodies of ours to do shocking things. That doesn't make it okay that we do this training. I know a game designer who claimed that when he was in his, in high school, drank an
oh no,
he's gone again.
got
Wow.
internet problems.
I was just going to say, if we're talking about weird things the human body did in the last episode that it hasn't gone fully public yet, but our backers have it, the Delta Green Countdown one. I talked about my history on Bizarre magazine, which was people regularly sending us, like weekly, sending us photographs of, I'm not going to say vile things, but really occasionally stomach-turningly unusual things that they were able to do with themselves. One guy hanging progressively more and greater weights from a ring through his penis. I have no objection to that kind of thing. And we did have to, finally I had to write to him and go, look, this is very impressive, but if we print your pictures, then everyone's just going to send us pictures of them hanging stuff from their cocks, and we'll be deluged, and we'll just be that magazine, and we don't want to be that magazine.
Yeah. You know what? All right. You need a spin-off magazine, Penis Hanger.
Yes.
So
bizarre
The
things that
dangle.
people hang from their penises.
The dangle!
The dangle!
Oh, that could have been a bestseller.
I have a lot of trouble coming up with titles for my own work, but you put the most disgusting, terrible idea that's likely to succeed in front of me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's clearly the dangle.
Yeah. It's clearly, if you want to do this in RPG, like especially the weird food stuff, there's two good games for it. One is Chew, the RPG, which is based on the comic series, which is ostensibly a detective procedural thing, but like people have weird food-based power. Like the main character, if he eats something, he knows he can read that object's history. Like if he eats an apple, you can tell what orchard it was planted at and who picked the apple and that kind of thing. So he often uses it to eat like parts of dead people to figure out who murdered them. And the food, there's even weirder food powers based after that. The other game obviously is of course Unknown Armies, especially for the dangler. That's just an adept or an avatar, I don't know, but that would be
it's not nearly common enough to be an avatar.
Okay, yeah, definitely an adept school then. Okay,
it's just like, okay, wow, the skin parted, okay, great.
Sorry, just briefly, Brian mentioned Modern Primitives already did it. Yes, I have my copy to hand. Bought in San Francisco in 1989 in the company of Jim Woodring. And there's your first name drop for the evening.
Wow!
I interviewed 2 days after I interviewed Matt Groening, I interviewed Jim Woodring, and man, there's a diptych. Have I not told you about this? Because it was. I think we met at, was it the Brown Derby or something like that? It was like a legendary Hollywood place that fallen on hard times, or at least in the late 80s. And I'm ready with all my surrealist and Dada questions and his stuff about influences. And so kind of I launch in and go, you're the eyeball motif, which is a pretty, if you don't know Jim Woodring's stuff, he does comics, but they are either dreamlike or just flat out surreal. And in a kind of disturbing way, but it is in no way conventionally disturbing. You can't say why they're disturbing. They just are. And
Frank in the River.
Yes. All of this stuff. And I was, so that, were you influenced by, I can't remember which surrealist it was. And he said, no, these things they've been appearing to me since I was small. You remember that cover I did with the boy in bed lying there with the 5 foot, 6 foot eyeball just staring down at him? That was me when I was about 6 or 7. Then, of course, I was hospitalized with psychosis. And I'm just sitting, I've literally known this guy for about 5 minutes. And I had no idea. But he was charming. He was delightful. Such a good interview. And then, as with the Matt Groening interview and a bunch of others I did on that trip, I got back to the UK to discover the magazine that commissioned me to do all these things had gone bust, and that none of them ever saw print.
Possibly because they were flying Britons to Los Angeles.
No, they were not. I was self-funding on this one. I was doing the interviews in order to pay for the trip. Howard Cruz I interviewed on the same trip. Who was the guy who did... Oh, I'm blanking completely on his name. Interviewed the guy who created Green Lantern. That was cool. Golden Age, the original Green Lantern. I'm digressing completely. This is comic stuff anyway. We're here to talk about.
Yeah.
But
anyway, yes, Modern Primitives.
Hold on though. Okay, I got a springboard off of the Jim Woodring stuff. is that, let me stick in a link.
Guy, right? Jim Woodring. Like, right
There's a
here.
documentary. Whoa, I need that.
Yeah, Jim Woodring's amazing.
Yeah. Oop.
He's gone again. I'll jump in. It's people who follow me, if you've got a copy of Interactive Fantasy 3 out there, which you can download for free from Drive-Thru or Itch, but if you've got the physical one, Jim Woodring cover. It's a reprint. It wasn't created originally for us because we had no budget, but it's a Jim Woodring cover, and I think certainly the first thing he did for games, possibly the only thing he's ever done for games. But genuinely a lovely man. Couldn't have been lovelier. I'm so sorry that interview never saw print because it was one of the just most jaw-dropping interviews I've ever done. Anyway.
Oh, you actually have all of them up on Itch, it looks like.
They're all up on Itch. They're all up on Drive-Thru. There are free download. You pay what you want. It's 4 separate PDFs. The light green one is the Jim Woodring one. We got amazing cover artists. The first one was Paul. I'm blanking on his name. He did painted art for Marvel and DC. Number 2 was. My mind has gone completely. I was back in touch with her. She's phenomenally good collage artist who did a lot of stuff for Anarchy and a bunch of others. Jim Woodring on number 3, Mary Fleener on number 4, and I was so happy with this. Paul Johnson. I don't know how you remember that, but that's amazing. Garen, phenomenal. Yes, Paul Johnson, who I knew. Number 2 will come to me. I will shout it in about half an hour. jaw-dropping artist. Anyway. I find
myself
on the.
I'm sorry, I keep dropping.
Number 3. Oop. Man,
yeah.
I think Greg has some internet problems. But this is the cover you're talking
Freddie
about.
Bayer, yes, Freddie Bayer, who I think tragically is really very ill at the moment. I think.
Oh, that's sad.
But
cool.
Never met them, but just in awe of their art. Anyway, back to games.
So I ran my first RPG for the year, which was Liminal Horror, which I'll talk about the system in a little bit, but the scenario it bears talking about first because it's from Dark and Hill and Dale, which is done by Sarah Cole who is here in chat, and let's see if there's I can get a larger thing of the cover. Anyway, it's British folk horror scenarios, and it's got lovely art, and it's Sarah was kind enough to send me a print copy with a bespoke handout packet, and I ran Moonlit Shadow. Old Annie Haddow captured a shadow up on the moor in a silvery night, and it was a lot of fun. So come on. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. Greg's having some kind of internet thing. I keep trying to add him back in. The scenario is summer wildfire has uncovered ancient rock carvings up on the moor, purported big cat sightings abound once again, and the police are looking for witnesses following the death of a local metal detectorist in a suspected dog attack. And so local folklore tells tales of witchcraft and greed, but the truth may be even stranger. So I had 4 regular, and of course I recorded this for RPPR, and I'll get that up sometime in the next month or so. It's a very good scenario, very, very basic. I wouldn't say basic, but very like classic kind of structure of folklore where people are being killed by a mysterious creature at night, and no one knows exactly what's going on. The players are trying to figure out what's happening, and it's very easy structure that it was easy to sort of adapt because I did not use Delta Green. I used Liminal Horror because I wanted civilians and I wanted a more British feel to it. And I was trying to go for Hot Fuzz, but with murderous monster instead of like gunfights. And
that's really what Hot Fuzz was missing. It should have had a proper kind of monster in there.
Yeah. Maybe the sequel. I mean, they kind of did that with the alien thing with the at the World's End, but that wasn't quite the same. So I quite like it. I mean, I want to run more from Dark and Hill and Dale, but like I actually got a copy of Terminus, which is out, and it's incredibly lovely, and I want to run this. And obviously, liminal horror is perfect for a scenario set in the tube, the underground. So, of course, I'm really interested in I'm running the most British thing possible, right? And to see how a bunch of Midwestern Americans handle it. Like, I had to explain what a detectorist was to the my friends, because I knew about them because of the there was a comedy series, right, called The Detectorists.
Several seasons of it.
Yeah, I've seen some clips from it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But a couple of things jumping in. Brian has just posted. Brian Romber has posted a bunch of Jim Woodring's magic cards to the Discord. It's in the general channel. Have a look at those. I just wanted to also say with Terminus, if you're a print goob, and those who were watching last month will remember me waxing lyrical about Architectura, Architectura. I still can't get that name wrong, but fantastically, beautifully produced game. Terminus is not quite on that level, but the cover is extraordinary on 2 levels. Ross, if you can hold it up. First of all, it's a mosaic. It looks like a mosaic. It looks like one of the mosaics from the London Underground. That's because it is a mosaic. Yeah. Sarah physically made that mosaic, and I think either photographed it or scanned it. But it's also got a spot varnish on it, which, Ross, move it back and forward slightly so it catches the light so people can see. So each of those squares is a little square of spot varnish, and it looks and feels like a real mosaic.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, the book is worth getting just for that front cover. It is jaw-droppingly cool.
I was very impressed with it. I think, I am. This is going to be a book I keep for a very long time. Like, it's just such a it's I love the tactile feeling of it. Like,
it's really something.
And it comes with some really good handouts too, which I'm not going to go through all of them, but like. There's little clues and this, and then I like this one I think the most. It's just the most ugly little guy. I love him. But yeah, just really cool stuff. Just a beautiful little package. Hi Greg, are you back? Are you alive?
Who can even say at this point? I got cut off apologizing for getting cut off, which is not my fault or anything I wanted. This sucks.
Yeah. Some kind of internet problem.
I don't know. Yeah, some kind of internet problem. Is it the snow? Who can say? To reel things back like 5 minutes, I put a link in the private chat to an article about Hello Sunshine, which I bought because I follow its author on Blue Sky, and it is a horror comic about real paranormal events, but also unrelated psychosis and severe bipolar disorder. And it's very insightful because the author has been, author/artist has been very forthright. She's like, no, I have this stuff. I have super bad bipolar disorder. This is what it's like. And so it's very intense. And, I started following her because she would post this gorgeous art. And I'm like, oh, I like looking at pretty things. And then I started following and I'm like, wow, okay, this is really interesting. And then I read about this. I'm like, well, I got to get this. And I was not disappointed.
Nice.
Cool.
Very good. I do, before we go too far, I do want to mention the system I used, Liminal Horror, which is, I pulled up the PDF right here, is a rules light OSR, but investigative horror game. And there's a new edition being they're working on. They used BackerKit to launch it last year, but it should be pretty similar. It's a very, very rules light system, and so which worked well over Dark and Hill Dale because I let most things work through role playing instead of players having. It's like, oh, I want to persuade this guy. Or just tell me what you're doing. Okay, he agrees. I didn't like. There's no. You basically have 3 attributes: strength, dexterity, and control. And control represents willpower, charm, and weird. So it's basically you roll 3d6 for each attribute, and then try to roll under that or equal to that on a d20. And then attacks always. The rules are based on Cairn, which is also the same system the Mouse Rider uses. Like attacks always hit. You just roll damage, and so characters are pretty fragile. but you can recover HP and stress or damage pretty quickly. And one thing I did like is your civilians. Although this is a very American system, because like one of the players in my game rolled therapist. And the therapist starts with a memo recorder, notebook, pen, business card, and small revolver. And so I had a house rule: no one starts with any guns because this is the UK. No guns. Yeah.
I mean, is that the therapist from Halloween? It was who was the actor?
Yeah, Donald Pleasant.
He was strapped, right?
Yeah. But that's in
was
America. Yeah, that makes sense if he was an American therapist. Yeah, but like not in England. You know, like
God, this is making me re-examine all the therapists
I mentioned that to Caleb, and he came
to.
up with the same example. He saw the exact same thing, went to the same part. Greg, so good job there.
My psychic colonization of Mr. Stokes proceeds apace.
Yes, and so you roll a d6 to determine why the parties come together, and you're not. So it's the anti-Delta Green. You're civilians, and you're just meeting because of happenstance to investigate things. So it works really well for rules light system where you want to focus more on role playing than like getting really bogged down with like detail. Like this would not work for Delta Green because that's a very procedural, very complex thing. But for more like looser based investigative mystery horrors or like folk horror or something like that, it would work well. Or this game's also has a lot of procedural stuff for exploring spaces, so yeah, void crawl they call it. So you explore a weird place and here's the kind of things that can happen. So it's like it's a weird blend of mystery, investigative horror, and OSR principles. And they even have stuff for fun rules where you're sending a huge group of people into a horrible place and have them all get murdered. So interesting system. I like it. But it's very rules light, which may be a detriment for more immersive, like in-depth role playing. So anyway,
speaking of Delta Green, I'm back writing for it, so I had to figure out what skill do you roll to pilot a drone.
Oh yeah, I've used SIGINT in the past, or I treat it as a separate pilot skill.
I decided that they're the quadcopter drones that are the easiest, and that if it was a hybrid drone, you would need pilot with special training drone pilot. But with the quadcopter, you can, if you have some kind of special drone pilot thing, it's like, you just exceeded all your rolls, man. You are way overqualified to operate this toy. But otherwise, it's, I think, Dex times 5 minus 10%, or military science Air Force, or I think I had one other that or pilot.
Like I've gotten a little toy quadcopter drone, and you could use a little app on your phone to control it. So it's like the cheap ones are pretty easy. So I actually ran a bad guy who had experience in the war, and so he built like weaponized drones and was just like no witnesses, and they were out in the woods and like being chased drones that were trying to blow them up. The monster wasn't even the problem. I mean, it was a problem, but not like the problem. So that was the first.
Shotguns work well.
Yeah, shotguns do work well. That is being used in Ukraine. So that was the first game I ran
drones,
this year.
You mean?
Yeah, against drones. Yeah,
or on drones.
There are drones. There are like anti-air drones are a thing now in Ukraine. Like drones equipped with weapons to shoot down other drones. But
this is what makes me question whether warfare works anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, James, what?
Warfare in Ukraine is advancing at a pace nowhere else seen. But so the Liminal Horror is the first game I ran this year. James, what's going to be have you already run a game, or what are you planning to do?
I facilitated a game. I facilitated a game of Dialect a couple of days ago. This is an all Sarah Cole episode, clearly, because Sarah was there. and a bunch of others. And it was one of this, we have this great group. 4 of us are games writers, though a couple of us specialize in video. One of us is a professor of design, including games design. It's the postmortems are fantastic. We played Dialect. We played one of the built-in scenarios, one of the basic 4. The one basically it's Wall-E, but there's a bunch of you as robots. And I won't go into too much depth about it because we haven't recorded the episode about Dialect yet. Greg has finally chosen his game for this season and its Dialect. But the setup we chose is that the humans were leaving Earth and we were all robots who had been on display, or automated things that had been on display at the last ever consumer electronics show in Las Vegas. And we had been repurposed at the last minute to basically turn the Earth into a monument to humanity, starting with Las Vegas. So I'm trying to remember what Sarah played. It was brilliant. It was a Roomba, but it was a limited edition Disney Roomba in the shape of the broom from The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is so good.
I love it.
I played a character called Mac, who was the original Apple Macintosh, the first one off the production line, who had been there on special display, and thinks of himself as the older statesman. And it is just a bit crap, really. But we had a lot of fun with it. We had some problems, which I'm looking forward to discussing in the episode. But a thoroughly good evening's entertainment.
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah, I do want to play that sometime. I've tried to bring it to the table, but scheduling and other issues have prevented me. It's kind of like cursed right now. I'm trying to break that curse. Maybe the 3rd time I try to run it, it'll actually work.
Yeah. I would really recommend playing it. It is one of those games that the book does not carry enough of the experience. There are role-playing games where you can just read the role-playing game and you know how it's going to play, and there are games, and this is
especially
it is a game in which you play a role, but it's not really a role-playing game. Sorry, Greg, I was talking over you.
Who was it who said that there are 2 kinds of games? There's a game where you roll a d20 and hope to get high, and there are games where you write sad feelings on an index card. Whose quote was that?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard that before.
Okay,
but yeah,
this is definitely a sad feelings on an index card.
Yeah. There's index card writing for sure. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I've read the rules and try to set it up. So yeah, but yeah, Greg, what have you already run a game this year, or what are you planning to be your first?
Oh game? God, no! But I have played a game.
Okay,
I'm in a very long-running Unknown Armies game as a player, where I'm having a delightful time. I've got a character who's doing things like, oh yes, I have the perfect alibi for the crime I'm sure is about to take place. When that was happening, I was being thrown out of the strip club for bursting into tears and upsetting the dancers. I've started writing short stories about poor Wyatt Grubb, and the arc we're in now is set at a convention for a mid-90s occult cop show called The Invigilator. And so our GM has tasked us to come up with other TV shows that were on like basic cable in the 90s at the same time as The Invigilator.
Rich wonderland there. Yeah.
Oh, we're having a tremendous amount of fun. The one I came up with. You want me to go off on the divergent about the thing I added?
Yeah, please.
It's called, so it's like Choppin' John, the most brilliant idiocy of the 90s. And it only lasted for 6 episodes, and you had this team of elite FBI profilers trying to take down America's most dangerous serial killer, Choppin' John, re-envisioned from the Choppin' John movies, who was just a guy who used hatchets and splitting wedges on scantily clad teens. He's now a guy who uses splitting wedges and hatchets on a variety of people in a mysterious, dare one say, occult pattern. And it lasted 6 episodes. They got 3 in before the 2 women on the team had to go undercover as prostitutes. The big reveal at the end is that 2 of the people on the team have been committing the Choppin' John murders. And the rumor is that this was how the producer / writer always wanted it to be, but corporate toned it down until the cancellation notice came. And then he's like, nobody cares. I'm just going to do the thing I always wanted to do anyway. And so people talk about this amazing twist and the lost potential of Choppin' John.
Man,
so that's what you can expect if you have me as a player in your game.
Hell yeah. I know like the 90s were there were so many canceled and like made for pilot shows that had just garbage premises. Oh no. I guess it's not an internet thing. It's sort of like a restream thing because now
it could be a host
thing.
Yeah.
So what is Satin After Hours? Tell me that's made up. Please tell me that's made up.
I have no idea.
It sounds like a black and white comic from the 90s with vaguely anime influenced art and quite a lot.
So the worst like 90s action adventure show that was only a pilot that I could think of is Steel Justice, which used a Robosaurus. And so Robosaurus is Truckosaurus, essentially a giant mechanical dinosaur that was used to rip up trucks at like live shows. And
Robosaurus, created by the guy who designed the nuclear war card game in the 1960s. I was talking about this earlier this week.
That's right.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
But let's see here. David Nash was one of the city's best cops.
This is how people wind up in front of bulletin boards covered with string, James. Careful.
He's racked with guilt after the death of his son, which he believes was his fault. David has fallen in hard times, but a traveler in time arrives to explain that he possesses the gift, the ability to transform. Only a few people have allows them to morph smaller objects into larger ones, such as assortment of rocks into Stonehenge or wooden toy into a Trojan horse. He guides David in the use of his ability, leads him to transform his son's robot dinosaur toy, the only remnant from his child's life, into a giant fire-breathing machine that brings harsh justice to the criminals of David's town. And I guess it's kind of implied that the son is inhabiting the robot dinosaur. So it's there are these compilations of all these shows on like YouTube.
You got to send me that link to pass on to the UA gang. Also, I'm totally going to steal Satin After Hours.
Oh yeah,
it's good. But then there was stuff that really existed, like Heat Vision and Jack, which was kind of a parody of that whole thing, but took itself slightly too seriously. But Cop Rock, which really existed from the guy who created Hill Street Blues, a procedural cop show in which the characters occasionally burst into song. It's and
took it seriously, right? I never watched Cop Rock.
Oh,
you should one episode. I couldn't take any more.
There's some of the songs are on YouTube. There's one that's called Baby for Sale, and it's about a guy who's trying to sell a baby to this couple, and it's like, oh man, you want a healthy baby, right? Ooh, it's oh god, Cop Rock is amazing. Let's see here. Let's just rate the let's see here. Here's the YouTube playlist of the songs that were on Cop Rock, or a playlist.
And they were all original songs, I think.
Yeah, they're all original songs. They're all done
like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
It
succeeded beautifully.
Karaokeing. It wasn't covers.
Let's see here, baby.
And it was completely
neither was Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Every song in that show was written for the episode. It was a crazy.
Baby Merchant was probably not an original. It was not a song that predated Cop Rock. Like, I'm just gonna say Baby Merchant, probably not. But yeah,
I mean, there must have been so many LA songwriters who were like, this is my chance. I can finally show what I can do. Unless it was filmed in New York, in which they were like, this is going to be my path to Broadway.
I guess. I'm not racist, but that's oof.
I wonder.
Okay, that one might be good, actually.
No, I'm not going to risk it. Yeah, the Stalker song. Okay, cool.
Urge Overkill did that.
Yeah. She's the
wow.
one. She chose me. Could this be? You lied. Brenda and the Bus Monster.
I see it. I see a burning cross.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen here. Well, it seems to be happening here. And let's be careful out there. It's going to be all right. He's guilty. And lament of the lineup guy. That's if it wasn't going to get copyright struck, I would play some of these clips. But man, yeah, everything's on here.
If it had been on stage, I think it could have. I would have gone to see a musical about a police procedural. I think that would have been funny, apart from anything else, and appropriate. But just as a kind of mid-evening TV show. Sorry, no. Yeah. A brave attempt to break out of the genre.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it's got to try something new. So, speaking of stage shows,
why should you settle for the same stale propaganda when you can get snappy new propaganda and a 1 and a 2 and a...
So this is something I'm planning
to violated my Miranda rights.
That's probably a lyric in one of these songs.
Yeah.
I'm sure they named it.
There'll be an O Miranda will be probably on the list somewhere.
So, but speaking of stage shows, this is something I actually want to see because they made a video on demand of this available for like $13.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Tokyo, there's the Takarazuka Grand Theater, the Takarazuka Review, which has been around since like I think the 50s, and it's a all-woman show where male parts are played in drag, and they're doing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But as there's Alucard right there. And it's I really want to see this. It's like a whole stage show. It's set during the French Revolution with vampires, and it's all these Japanese women singing their hearts out about vampires and Castlevania.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah,
Castle. Sorry, are you done? Or
can
I jump in? It's just a conversation I was having with my oldest yesterday, talking about great sayings that you think are, from great works of literature or something like that, or, decades old, in fact, are incredibly modern. One of them being, what is man? A miserable little pile of secrets is Castlevania.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Is it not?
It is.
No, they stole it from someone else. What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets came from somewhere else. Let me look it up.
All right, I've not heard that. I've only heard it.
But the other ones we were talking about are when Alexander reached the edge of his he wept for there were no more worlds to conquer. Die Hard, original to Die Hard. And then the great one about if I cannot X, I will face God and walk backwards into hell is a tweet from, I can't remember his
Drill.
The legend Drill. It's a Drill tweet. Yeah, the legendary shit poster.
Yes. I mean, when I found out that the original line, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain, is from a Batman movie, I'm like, that's too strong for Batman. That's literary, and apparently it's attributed to Andre Malraux. I feel like Google used to work. We used to have a Google in this country.
Yeah. I searched to DuckDuckGo, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah, the Yakuza. I think Yakuza. I don't know if that's Takarazuka review as well, but there was a. I don't think so actually, but yeah, there was a Resident Evil stage show in Japan too that was pretty neat. Whoop. All right. Stay
on page.
So
Andre Malraux. Now you know. Now the next time someone quotes that, all of y'all can do this move.
Okay.
Very
cool.
Or
speaking
actually,
of Andres, just a drop in. Unexpected appearance by people called Andre, specifically Andre 3000. I've been watching Dispatches.
I knew you were going to say Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Dispatches from Elsewhere, which is a fictionalized fictionalization of an ARG and people playing through an augmented reality game from about 15, 20 years ago called the Jejeune Institute, which ran in San Francisco. And a friend of mine actually played through and documented at great length. And then there was a documentary about the whole thing. But Dispatches from Elsewhere, written and starring Jason Segel, who, you know, best known for written and writing and starring in Forgetting Sarah Marshall and writing and starring in the recent good Muppets movie. Dispatches from Elsewhere, if you're interested in games and game thinking, it's great, but it's also got Richard E. Grant, Sally Field, and Andre 3000, and it's just fantastic. I'm only about halfway through.
All right,
really enjoying it.
I want you to imagine Andre 3000 and Sally Field are kicking back in the green room, having a couple bottled waters. What are they talking about?
I don't know. Castlevania, obviously.
I'm gonna say the horrific corruption of the FIFA governing body.
There you go.
Yeah. But that's hardly news.
I'll have to check that out. I actually just finished.
But they talk about it. I mean, when was this made? When was this made, James?
2020.
Dispatches from Elsewhere was 2020. It's only just become available.
So that was when FIFA's corruption was peaking in America, when we were really like, oh wow, this is really bad.
The World Cup
this is
in
like
Qatar,
boxing commission,
a country where it is too hot to play football during the day. Yes, of course, that was a rational decision, not influenced by billions of dollars at all. I'm going to jump in. Can I get this back on games?
Yeah.
I got something in the post. This is a book I've been sent to review, and gentlemen, we have been wasting our times. The Oracle is before us. Designing TTRPGs for dummies. It's real. This is really part of the For Dummies series. It exists. It is by Martin. I'm going to mispronounce this. Martin Buinicki, PhD, a role-playing game designer you have never heard of, because as far as I can work out, he's never designed an RPG. He's done a bunch of supplements. He's done a bunch of adventures, mostly for DCC and D20 stuff. But he has, it doesn't appear to be.
Why didn't those sons of bitches come to me? I've worked for him before.
I do not.
Well, you didn't pitch him the idea, probably.
So this is a review copy. I am reviewing it for Weird Science. If you know Weird Science, holy shit! Wow, they've redone their cover. It's not as good.
Now, granted, I only wrote the fiction for it, but which I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah, so apparently Martin here owns, or let's see here, is the lead writer at Gaming Honors, which this is their webpage, and looks like they do DCC stuff and Fifth Ed stuff. So
pretty much. That is the closest thing. The thing you've got up now is the closest thing they've designed to a published role-playing game. It's called Diapers and Daycare, and it's a parody. I think is as good as I think the title is probably the high point. Actually, the cover is the high point because that's the old Player's Handbook cover, but with a baby, and that actually works pretty well.
That's a fun callback. There's the snarky comment, and I know nothing. What are you gonna do if it's good and smart, James? But I'm like, this is a guy who knows the full scope of the entire role-playing culture, all the way from 3rd edition through 5th edition.
Pretty much, yeah. He talked. There's a section in there on cyberpunk that does not mention the role-playing game Cyberpunk. There's a supernatural section that mentions vampire and werewolf, but with lowercase v's and lowercase w's, because he's not talking about the role-playing games. He does talk. He mentions Blades in the Dark, and he mentions Dread, because clearly he's read about them somewhere. He does not mention PBTA at any point. He doesn't mention Failing Forward. It is a conventional old school RPG design.
I mean, this
very
is
trad.
You guys about that graphic novel I read about the history of tabletop role-playing games, where it mentioned, like ancient role-playing, ancient Chinese rituals where they enacted roles in order to influence things, but not Vampire the Masquerade, and mentioned like the Commedia dell'arte, but not Call of Cthulhu. And I'm like, they mentioned Dungeons and Dragons and the Commedia dell'arte. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, I totally forgot that I actually played it. I played in another new RPG this year. Speaking of new games, and I should mention it quickly because we did record it for RPPR. It'll come out sometime in March when they're going to do a Kickstarter for this. This is called Ballad Hunters by Tristan Zimmerman, who previously did Shanty Hunters. And it's an RPG of textual analysis. Because it's based on the child ballads of the early 19th century, and so essentially the game is set in Britain, 1830s.
There was ballad.
There was a scholar named last name Child who wrote down all these English folk ballads and categorized them. So kind of like the Grimm's Brothers, but for ballads. And so it's set in Britain in 1813. And ballads are the folk ballads of the common people are coming to life. Where ballads are sung, sometimes the lyrics take hold of people, forcing them to act out the events of the song. Enchanted victims take on the roles of the characters in the ballads. Imagery and danger from the songs manifest supernaturally. Your amateur folklorists working as agents in service to the government you earn the attention of Walter Scott before he became Sir Walter Scott. And he's the point man on the ballad crisis, and you need to anticipate the events, mitigate the damage they cause, and help people where they can. You may seek to learn the reason.
God! So this is Delta Greed before the flamethrowers invented.
Literally what it is, but you're reading we got a ballad and we had to interpret it as magical supernatural events were happening around this and use that to figure out how to free two people from the Fae. Essentially, they were trapped in Elfland, and we were also trapped in Elfland. We had to get out and then reunite this person who'd been gone for several years. Although for her it was only a few days. It uses the bones of the gumshoe system, but it's very loose because it's all based on like one of the highlights of the game was anytime you speak a word in Elfland, a magpie comes out of this giant fleshy mouth with that word on it or the words on it, and that's what's keeping you trapped there. And so like I got the bright idea to find some black paint and paint the black magpies entirely black so they wouldn't the words wouldn't show up, and that worked. So it's this textual poetic interpretation of events. So that was fun. And I kind of want to look up the Shanty Hunters because that's about sailing shanties. But anyways, that's a fun game. That's hopefully they'll get their Kickstarter or backer kit out in he said sometime in March, but we'll see. But a neat little game. I'm trying to think what else. Speaking of game design, Maddie and I watched a game show on Netflix called The Devil's Plan, which is a Korean, highly complex game show where there's all these mathematical puzzles and group games and game design where there'll be like social deduction games, abstract strategy games like Nine Men's Morris, and board games and card games in order to figure out who's going to be the winner of it. So there was a versions of Go and that kind of thing. So we watched season 2, and it had some flaws in the game design because basically players were based on how many points they had won total. They're either going to go to the living area or the prison. And in prison, there would be a second match for the day, and one person was guaranteed to be eliminated in that. But once you started out in the living area, points snowballed, and you were almost never going to go into the prison. And so people who won the first game had this structural advantage to it. So it's an interesting show to watch from a game design and puzzle solving sort of perspective, but it's not It was flawed, and it has kind of the reality
Mm.
like Survivor thing where people would form alliances and just like strategically pick people out. And some players were clearly like, "I don't want to look bad, so I'm going to let this other player win because I don't want to eliminate them." I'm like, "Okay, you're just letting someone else win. Cool." So, anyways, if you have Netflix, The Devil's Plan is interesting to watch if you want to like think about game design stuff. But yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah.
It's,
Well,
people are fleeing. I just, of all the reasons to leave watching the stream early, because you've got to get up early in the morning, because you're being paid to run the landlord's game, the precursor to Monopoly for a bunch of artists. Oh wow, that
sounds super cool. I missed that. Yeah.
In terms of watching things from a game designer's perspective, over here the UK has once again gone nuts for The Traitors, which is just Werewolf. Played over basically a day in Werewolf is an actual day, and people go, "Oh, but couldn't they work this thing out?" It's like, no, the reason Werewolf works is we're really, really bad at spotting when people are lying to us and making logical deductions because we are biased, and the show would not be fun with that. Stop trying to rationalize it, just enjoy it as people being dumb, people overthinking simple problems.
My wife has been watching that, and I started watching, and then I saw Michael Rappaport, and I'm like, no, thank you, no.
Yeah, it's most of it for us is just ordinary people. There was a celebrity one just before
Werewolf,
Christmas,
but with the vibes of a carbon monoxide leak.
Yes, because a bunch of them are incredibly dumb and make and say incredibly dumb things, give themselves away.
Well, I mean, how pervasive is alcohol in British reality TV? Because from what I've heard, a friend of mine, her son was on a dating show once, and he's like, "Oh yeah," it's like they would give you any drink you wanted, anytime you wanted, fully stocked bar. And, even Nailed It, the comedy baking show. It's like, oh yeah, every station has a full bottle of vodka. How else would they clean their airbrush? And I've never seen anyone on Nailed It clean an airbrush, but I have seen people on Nailed It make decisions that make a lot more sense if they'd been drinking alcohol off camera. So, I mean, how much of it is just that they're hammered?
Yeah, Great British Bake Off, people are using alcohol in, throughout the recipes because you're baking cake and stuff like that. Of course you are. You're putting sherry in there, you're putting whiskey in there, whatever it is that you're making. It's an open joke that Prue, one of the Prue Leith, really
but they're not getting
a drink.
I refuse to believe those people are getting hammered. They're doing something important, beautiful.
He's gone. The TV gods have got to him at last.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say is probably the biggest dating show over here is Love Island, which is just trash, but I'm pretty sure they're drunk most of the time on that. It's called First Dates, and it's literally they arrange a blind date for two people or multiple couples in a restaurant, and they eat a meal and usually drink quite heavily, and at least one of the couples will get very pissed. And it's just delightful telly because it's people being unguarded and asking those first awkward questions in the relationship. And clearly there is a great deal of drinking going on. Yeah.
I mean, like The Devil's Plan, like they filmed this in 1 week, right? And like you're just locked. Like they build the living quarters on this massive set, so you're just locked in this. You don't have your phone, you don't have access to the outside world, and you're just playing this for 12 hours. You're just living this for entirely. And so people like get exhausted, they get really emotionally attached, and like it's not quite cult indoctrination, but it's kind of the same techniques of like exhaustion and being overwhelmed and forming close bonds, and then having to betray people in order to survive in the game. Like there's a little overlap between cult indoctrination techniques and reality shows and these kind of things. So
did you ever watch Sirens?
No. What is Sirens? Is that
man, Sirens was on Netflix. It's a South Korean reality TV show. The teams are all like women with highly physical jobs.
Yes.
So there's the team that's all bodyguards, the team that's all ops, the team that's all soldiers, the team that's all firefighters. and they put them through these physical challenges, but at any point, a siren might go off. And when that happens, you
That
gotta
sort
be
of
ready
siren.
to fight.
Yeah. Now I did see this. Yeah, the teams were police officers, firefighters, bodyguards, soldiers, athletes, and stunt women. And yeah, they had different types of competitions they had to do. But like, yeah, it was
The funniest bit.
Yeah.
One of the challenges involved, oh yeah, you have to start this fire and get it hot enough to do X, and the firefighters could not freaking do it.
Because he's fighting it, but they only know the opposite. It's their natural. It's their one weakness. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I have to. I think I'd seen the title and just gone, no, this is going to be trash. This sounds just too entertaining.
I do like a good.
Did I say it wasn't trash, James?
Yeah, I do like a good obstacle course or physical competition show. Like there've been a couple on Netflix. Like there's one called the Physical 100, which is like they start with 100 athletes and they work their way.
Physical 100 is amazing, but Physical Asia is amazing.
Yeah, I think I've started that. I haven't finished that one. We do have a really good comment on the chat on RPG writing. This is from Stochastic Path. On RPG writing advice, I pulled down Gygax's role-playing mastery. The major considerations for the rules themselves are these: technological base, game area, time scales, distance scales, movement, combat at distance, hand-to-hand combat, morale. Wow, this RPG for dummies guy is kind of taking from the Gygaxian school of design.
Yeah. Stochastic, thank you so much for that. It's because I knew this was niggling. Something was at the back of my brain going, this is like something. You've nailed it. It's role-playing mastery. Which was the first book pretty much about how to write role-playing games, and probably the worst. It's awful. It's
wow.
It's more kind of how to design a game exactly like D&D or indeed Cyborg Commando. Yeah.
The producers made it so that the Korean team won. I did think in the Devil's Path or Devil's Plan, it did seem, especially in season 2, that one contestant was really being favored because, like, he did do this one challenge that gave a personal challenge that gave him a huge advantage that wasn't clearly explained. No one else had a chance to do, but also like there was a team game where he and one other player were against 3 other players, but like, and it boiled down to like what playing order, like who was going, and because they were playing, he and his ally were playing next to each other, like they were 4th or 5th. They had this huge advantage that the other 3 players couldn't unbind or couldn't deal with, and they went through 4 or 5 of these drawing randomly determined play order, and they always were paired up to each other. And like after like 4 or 5 times of always being put together, it seems like that seems a bit those are very low odds. So I'm not surprised.
Sketchy.
Yeah, a little sketchy. It's like a reality show producer like manipulating things behind the scenes. I'm sure that's but
what that makes me think of, I wish I could remember the name of the book. It was a guy's memoir in which after 9/11, he's like, okay, I need to do something to contribute to making the world a better place. And so he joined the Peace Corps and got sent to rural China. And he's like, I did not know it at the time, but my college habits had exquisitely prepared me for success in this milieu. Because all I did in college was drink and play basketball. And it turns out that to kick it with rural Chinese Communist Party apparatchiks, you need to be able to put it away. And they will respect you if you can drink them under the table. And as a 6'1" American, I had this advantage. Also in the basketball. And they're like, you will, of course, play basketball for our regional team. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
Just at the end of the story. I do want to mention, I know someone who spent a lot of time in China. And I remember one time he visited this rural village to visit friends or something like that. And this person also had some martial arts background. And so like, and it was around Chinese New Year. And so like when he saw someone had a pair of nunchucks around, and so he got up and did like the basics of the nunchucks, and it's just the crowd went wild. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, a white guy can use nunchucks! Amazing!" But it was the novelty of it, just like everyone's drinking. He was just hero of the day. They loved it. They couldn't get enough of him doing his little nunchuck routine. So yeah, you just gotta find that commonality, you know.
Well, the thing that made me think of this book, which by the way is the title is Kosher Chinese, and the thing that made me think of it is his anecdote about playing on the basketball team, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy on the other team, you can't block him." They're like, "It's like, what do you mean I can't block him?" They're like, "That's the regional chairman's son. You can't block him."
Politics, yeah.
And they're like, so it was very hard to beat this otherwise mediocre team with this star player who was otherwise a mediocre player.
Aw.
So there was that, and there was whenever they tried to feed him something he found truly disgusting, he'd be like, "I can't because it's not kosher," and they just exploded.
Damn, that's great. That's a great out. But before we go, we're at our hour time.
Let me find the book.
Okay. In the next episode I'm working on right now, I'm editing and made some progress on is Maelstrom, which was James's choice, personal choice. So that should be out before the end of the month to backers. Of course, Delta Green. Yeah.
We don't rehearse this. I do just have all my books just lying around here.
Yeah, mine's on my bookshelf, I think. And let's see here. Then the next episode after that will be Call of Cthulhu in Medias Res. But we're recording an actual play this month of Swords of the Serpentine, run by the game's author, Kevin Culp. And we'll have a guest player, V from Queen's Court Games, as well. And
who's a delight.
Yes. And I actually talked to her recently. She started an ice cream company in Iceland. They don't have good ice cream there, and so she's like, "There's got to be a better way." And so she's doing a specialty boutique ice cream company. So
I know they don't have greens in Greenland, famously, but ice cream in Iceland.
Well, they have ice cream, but it's boring, is what she says. They add on little toppings to make it interesting, but like they don't have like a Ben and Jerry's equivalent, and so she's kind of going that.
So
way.
wait, it's just they've got vanilla and chocolate and maybe butterbrickle and
I guess I didn't go into a huge amount of detail with her, but she sees
four basics, right?
Flavor.
Yeah, she saw a market opportunity and she's working on it. So
all right,
fantastic.
Yeah,
Very very briefly before we disappear, I'm end of the month, I'm going to be at WarpCon in Cork at University College Cork, a regional RPG and tabletop show that's been running, must be 30 years or so, because I know, if not more, Gareth Hanrahan ran it one year. It's always run by the Student Society, so Gareth Hanrahan ran it one year, Cat Tobin of Pelgrane ran it one year. In the Mist of Time, I used to go regularly. I haven't been there a while. I'm going to be there. I think John Kovalik's going to be there as well. It's just about 300 people, but it's lovely. It's the Irish conventions have a vibe all around. They're charming. They're delightful. Started 19. Good Lord, he's here. Gareth Hanrahan is in the house. Started 1990. So this is 35 years. Very, very impressive. It's a lovely show. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
According to this. So looks like it has a little bit of everything: RPGs, CCGs, LARPs, war games, board games.
Oh my god! Someone has never had butterbrickle?
Yeah.
I've never heard
it's not as good as rum raisin, in my opinion, but you should take a crack at it. You should search. You should source that. It's worth trying.
It doesn't exist.
You might just say, "Oh, this is okay, but not for me," or you might be like, "This is life changing." One of the things that was missing in my life is no longer missing.
It's chocolate coated toffee. And
wow.
Yeah. So,
but the ice cream flavor, it is not like recommending Malort. Malort is a specialist thing. Either you are going to love it or you are going to think you've been punked. Butterbrickle is gentle and accessible. You're either going to love it or you're going to think, "Oh, this is okay."
It's
Malort is a bonding experience, okay, Greg? It's to bring two friends closer together because they've gone through this adversity. They've suffered together, and they have that shared trauma now, and they can get over it. That's what Malort is.
Then what does it mean that I always drink it alone?
It's introspection. It's you know, appreciating what you have. It's why do people dangle things from their penises? Like it's spiritual, like, you're yeah, it's the same spectrum there. So Ross gave me Malort 2 years ago, and he's right. See, I have backup. I have proof. Greg is simply built different. Yeah. Well, there he goes. There's back again. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. We'll try and get this up on the public feed. Obviously, if you're listening to this later, thank you all for hanging out. We're gonna have a great 2026. We'll be finishing up season 3 in the next couple of months, and then we'll be taking a break a little bit and planning season 4, I imagine. So, but one thing at a time. We gotta stick the landing for season 3. And that's what we're focused on right now. But yeah, if you want to discuss this more, we have a Discord, which is on our website, ludonarrativedissidents.com, which I'll put a link in right here in the chat. So you can find out if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with us on this Friday evening. But yeah, I'll talk to you. We'll talk to you all later. So
hopefully next time
weekend.
the connection will be a little stronger.
Yeah, this was not Twitch's fault. This was Restream.io's fault, which has been pretty good overall. But like, yeah, in the history thing. But like, yeah. It's a free, so I can't complain too much.